If you have dry skin, I'm gonna show you how to get this hydrated, dewy glow. Keep watching. I'm gonna first start with the Beauty Elixir by Caudalie. It's just very calming and hydrating for the skin.
It's like a minty bath, I feel like.
I'm gonna spray myself. So I like to go in with that because it basically gives a nice hydrated face to prep with. And it's also therapeutic. The smell of it smells really nice. That's why I sprayed myself. Skin prep is so important for someone who has dry skin because if you have any type of fine lines, if you hydrate it, it's going to eliminate that. You want it to look very fresh, emollient. I'm gonna go in with the Rhode Glazing Milk. This is going to add extra hydration.
I need that.
You need it.
I do need that.
And I like to go in with my hands and warm it up a little bit.
I don't think you've done my makeup in so long.
I know, it's been a minute, but I've never used this on you, so. I like to go into the neck too, just to make sure we don't skip that.
Neck
it needs to have the same texture as the face. And décolleté too. If you're wearing something that's lower, you want to make sure you hydrate everything.
This always gives such a good glow.
It feels really great.
I always use this.
So as you can see, her skin looks glazed, very hydrated, glowy. She's a glowing goddess.
Wow, that was easy.
How does it feel?
Feels good. Feels like a donut.
And that's what we want. Next, I'm going in with Charlotte's Cryo Serum. And this is a thin serum, which is great for the under eye. I don't like to go in with anything too thick because then it manipulates the concealer. So the thinner the better, but still hydrating enough.
Do you feel like that's why people have like creases?
Yes, it'll cause creasing.
Ooh, less the better.
And this is cold, so it helps with depuffing.
Yeah. That's cool. I don't think I've ever used that.
No?
You don't let me use it. Just kidding.
And then I like to just go in with my fingertip and just like mesh it into the skin.
Do you usually like to wait a little bit of time before you put on the foundation for skin prep, or you just go right in?
No, I'll go right in.
Oh, okay.
As far as concealer, I wait.
Oh, okay. Because sometimes people are like, wait 15 minutes.
No, I don't have time for that.
Okay.
Don't have time for that. Okay, how does it feel?
Feels great.
For that extra dew, I'm going in with the Tatcha, the Dewy Skin Cream. This is one of my all-time favorites, especially for a glowy skin. Anyone with dry skin, I highly recommend this. I'm gonna go in with my fingers. A little bit of this goes a long way, so just know you don't need a lot. Typically, someone that has dry skin would use something that's rich, hydrating, dewy, which this is our dewy moisturizer, and I think that the thinner the moisturizer, stay away from it.
I feel like when I use thin moisturizer, my skin eats it and it's gone.
Yeah, so you want something that's going to seep in but yet kind of sit on the skin for that extra emollients. I would say when you're applying a moisturizer, stay away from the gel-based moisturizers because those are gonna be for someone that's oily. Anything that's creamy or rich, I highly suggest for someone with dry skin. Again, do not forget the neck, décolleté.
I always forget to put skin prep on my neck.
You need to remember, especially after today. Look how dewy that is. It's so beautiful. We should just leave it as is.
We're done.
If you skip this part, especially for someone with dry skin, it's not going to give the same payoff. You're not gonna look as brilliant, as radiant, as glowy, as dewy. So you definitely need the moisturizer that's rich in hydration. So I usually avoid primer unless someone is super oily and I wanna manipulate the skin, but somebody with dry skin, I stay away from primer because I want the foundation to really give its true payoff by just moisturizing, using a little essence and eye cream. It keeps it pretty much the way it's supposed to look. Now I'm gonna go in with MPH Lace Skin. This foundation I just tried recently and I'm obsessed with, especially since I have dry skin, I highly recommend it. It has hyaluronic acid and it acts like a serum, but it gives a medium coverage. You could get it pretty full coverage actually, but it's like thinner. It's not gonna be a heavy application. I'm gonna apply it on my hand just so I can work from here, warm it up. And I'm going in with the lighter shade first. And basically I like to go in and add the coverage just by dabbing where I want to move it later. But right now we're just going to go in and dab the lighter color towards the center of the face.
I feel like people have their winter and summer shades. This is like a good way to use both, I feel like.
Yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
I've always seen you use 2 foundations.
I like having both because, like you said, you can use, different times of the year.
Yeah.
But also, if you just go in with complexion and you don't use bronzer, but you're still warming up the skin with the deeper shade, your skin will look pretty and it'll look natural. So you see how I've just been dabbing it, and look at that coverage. I mean, you can see where there's lacking foundation. There's like no
What are you
color here.
trying to say?
Sorry. You can see where I skipped this part of her nose and this part, but you can see the difference between product and no product. But it feels light, right?
Yeah.
It's a serum foundation, so it's
Okay.
not thick. So I am using a dense brush. It's actually the Sephora 99 brush. I love this for anything cream, emollient. It does taper at the top, so when you want to get into the nose area or the little finer areas, you can. The denser the brush, the more product that you can apply to the skin. When you dab, you really can control how much product you're putting in, if that makes sense. You're applying onto the skin. Now I'm going to go in with the 40, and this is flat, also very dense. This I'm going to move product around. So it's going to pick up a little bit of the product as well, which is what I want because I did put a lot on purpose. So I'm just stippling and moving it so that the product kind of fades into her skin, but we're not losing the coverage, if that makes sense.
That's cool. I didn't know you use like a clean brush. Well,
Oh, to
my
go in.
brushes are dirty, but you have to wash yours since you're doing it on other people.
Mine are always clean in my kit, but personally, not always. So I'm just adding a little bit more with the 99 brush just along her cheek area down into the neck. If you want to find the right shade, you basically want to bring product into the neck and to make sure if you don't see it, you got the right shade.
So you match with the neck?
You match with the neck.
Always?
For your palette,
Right.
not for your contour or anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, imagine.
no. Okay. Turn this way. So let's go in and just move the product.
This literally feels like I have nothing
I
on.
love it. And it's so, like, your skin feels like skin. That's
Yeah.
why I love it.
It's like very glowy. And this is like working well with the skin prep.
Working fantastic. Also,
Amazing.
too, when you're applying foundation, you don't want to go up into the eye because you want this area to be bare. When you go in with concealer, you just want to make sure that it's just the concealer and not the product before, because that's where you manipulate it, and you don't want to in this case.
No creasy, cakey.
No creasy. We don't want any creasing on you. So stippling. And I go back and forth. If I want to add more coverage, I'll go in because there's already product on the initial brush that I used. So I'll go in and stipple where I need to add more product. This foundation is great because it doesn't move. It stays in the brush and you can transfer it back onto, that makes sense, back onto the skin. Like you don't lose it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not running away.
So now I'm going to go in with the darker shade, and we're just going to go around the hairline and into the cheek and then a little bit down here just to give that bronzy but still natural and subtle. Going to go in with the same brush. It's okay that it's dirty because we're not going to use a lot of the product. I'm telling you, I'm just barely swiping a little bit. And dabbing really does control how much product that you're applying and where you're applying.
Do you feel like when you use the same foundations, like since you're putting this as bronzer, it's like seamless because it's the same thing? Right?
Definitely more seamless, same texture. It's really not bronzing. It's just more giving a little oomph so you don't look pale. Yeah. So I'm going to go into the nose. You do not need a lot. And I go into the neck a little bit with the deeper shade just so everything is seamless.
You're very light-handed.
Thank you.
Forgot about that because I haven't done my makeup in so long.
I've been told that. Okay. So I'm going to go in with a buffing brush, basically just going to push in the product, and this will pretty much it kind of is blending a little bit, but also just pushing the product in. It just kind of buffs it out, basically. It's a great brush for buffing. I dab because I don't want to move the product anywhere. I just want to push it into the skin, keep the full payoff by dabbing. If you swipe, you're moving it at the same time, if that makes sense.
Does it look streaky when you swipe
It could be streaky depending on the brush. Okay, so that is the foundation. So now I'm going in with the Tower 28 concealer. This is super hydrating. A little bit of this goes a long way. Like, I don't need a lot at all. And I'm just gonna add a little bit in the inner part, a little bit on the outer part, and we're gonna marry these together. So now I'm gonna go in with a angled tapered brush. I love this brush from Sephora because it really gets into the inner part of the eye and the outer part, but without being too thick because it's tapered. This is brush 71, the best.
I feel like I see you using that all the time.
All the time, yes.
I think I gave you some, right?
Yes, you did give me some. So we're just dabbing. Again, you see how much, that's a lot of product. So I'll buff it out after, but a little bit of this concealer goes a long way. I'm just going to dab, dab, dab. I don't go all the way up because once I blend, that will thin out towards the lash area. I don't want a crease under eye to happen. Using the eye serum from Charlotte really did prep the skin for hydration. Like I said, it's not going to crease. It's not going to manipulate the concealer. The concealer is going to give you its true payoff, basically. Does it feel light?
Yeah. I feel like I just have like nothing, just skin prep on.
I love that.
Yeah, moisturizer.
But hydrated.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of concealer under her eye. So I'm going to go in and basically buff it out, blend it in. I'm using the 57 Sephora brush. So this is, it's a little dense, but it's still fluffy enough to where I'm not, I'm just, able to blend it out and not add product. There's nothing on this brush. I'm just moving product. And see how I'm kind of swiping? I want to. I want to move the product, yeah. Because you want it to look seamless and blended into her skin with the foundation. Okay, so we're just moving, dabbing. And I like to do the center here as well, just so it brightens the area as well. So any of the product, I'm just pushing it in next to her nose. Okay, so I'm gonna take the remnants of what's on the initial concealer brush, and I'm going to tap in between her brow and just like this part of the brow, not all the way, just in the center. So there's still product on here, but not a lot. And we're just going to press it into the skin.
Does it like brighten
the
there?
foundation? Yeah. So it's brightening. And then whatever's left, again, there's product. There's a lot of product on here still left. Around the nose. And then I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to just add a little bit to my hand because I don't want a lot. And we're going to take some of that. This is giving brightness, dimension, so everything else is still warm. She's got product, but this is actually brightening the center of her face. So
kind of like a reverse contour, kind of.
Exactly that. You're smart.
Well, maybe I learned from you. I don't know.
You know a thing or two.
Maybe.
So now I'm going to set her skin with the Veil translucent loose powder from Hourglass. This is so great because it's a very fine powder. So when you're applying powder, it doesn't look like powder. It's just setting where you want. So I just added a little bit of the powder onto this brush. It's flat. I'm going to go into the center of her face just to set everything. But don't be afraid if you have dry skin to use a powder. This is, like I said, it's a super fine powder, so it's not going to dry you out. It's going to set very satiny on the skin. This is just to set the concealer and a little bit of the foundation in the center because you don't want to be too shiny as far as you want the glow, the dew, but not crazy shiny, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Having dry skin, though, is so frustrating sometimes, and there's certain powders that are just not good for my face or anyone with dry skin.
Yeah, it makes you feel like it's drier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely.
I even feel like when I put powder in my smile lines, sometimes it like accentuates them.
Yes,
but
it
that's
can.
probably because I'm not doing the skin prep.
And
that
also,
good.
not applying a lot of product in your smile lines makes a big difference. So I'm adding a little bit to this puff. It's a triangular puff. And then I'm going to pat my palm with it just to remove excess product. And this is where you're really going to have the product set. I'm just doing it in the center because that's typically where the oils tend to lift. Even if you're dry, you're still gonna have a little bit of oils come through. So smile lines, this is great. And then the other thing I like to do is go right above the brow, just to eliminate that shine.
So it's not like if you have dry skin, your face isn't gonna get oily
No.
throughout the day, right?
No. Your skin will get oily throughout the day. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like even if your skin is dry.
Yes, absolutely. Oils will still come through.
Yeah.
You naturally will have oils,
Yeah.
unless you're me and you're 48 years old, then you're. Sorry, I'm just buffing this.
What about like when people bake? You know how they like pile on? Is that not good for dry skin? I feel like
You can bake, but again, prep, it goes back to the prep. If you're prepping, you're hydrating your skin, you can still bake, but you know what your under eyes look like.
Yeah.
You know how much or how, not to put on. So I think as long as you're doing a powder that's finer, it'll work. But sometimes the drier the powder, the more accentuating the fine lines are gonna look, especially if you don't prep well. I'm just gonna set a little bit along the jawline with some powder. I'm still using the Hourglass Veil Translucent Loose. Again, I'm tapping it on my hand just to remove some of the product, but there's really not a lot of product here. I'm just going in and setting all over now just to give it a long wear effect. I feel like your skin looks so dewy and so pretty still. The last step that I want to do is a spray by Charlotte. It's the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray.
it smells so good.
I am a fan.
Wow. This is
Yeah.
what you do to all your clients?
I do this to myself, my clients, to you now. And it's okay to spray a lot of this because it really does give that radiance, that glow, that hydration. It sets the powder really nice. It still will be a little bit more satin, but it does set it so that it looks more like skin. That makes sense?
Do you feel like with dry skin, you can't use like those setting mists that are like supposed to lock in your makeup because they're more drying? Or do you think you
No,
can?
you definitely can. So what I do is I'll go in with the Charlotte and then I'll use the one size to set it for all day. That's what I did today so my skin would stay on for camera.